Hi, I'm Skyler Prillaman. I am on the women's soccer team at Highland University. I am a forward, so I'll play like on the wing or in the middle, like as a striker.
My first impressions of her was just, a really hard worker. Her work ethic to me is one of like the best qualities about her, just because, she works harder than really almost anybody I know. And she's really self-driven, and she puts her relationship with God first. So I really admire those things about her.
Skyler has always been someone who, and I think we share this in common, we're both very intense, and anything that we do, we like to give our all in. And so that's why it is so difficult when something that we're giving our all in is taken away, like our sport.
It was an away game, and we were at West Virginia University. About 20 minutes into the game, I received the ball, and I beat my defender 1v1. I'm running down the field, and out of nowhere, I get slide tackled from behind and ball in my arm.
Well, I was all the way across the field from her, so I couldn't really see what was wrong. I just saw her holding up her hand, and at first we were all like, oh, she's fine, she'll get up. But then we realized pretty quickly that she wasn't going to.
Just a really dramatic scene, just seeing her get wheeled off the field the way she did.
Normally, I'm the type of player that after I fall, I'll get back up and try and win back the ball, but I didn't hop up this time because I knew something was wrong. In the ambulance, I was really scared because this was the first time in my soccer career that I had ever been seriously injured that caused me to be out of the game for months. So obviously my coaches and teammates and family and friends were super encouraging during this time. And my boyfriend, Worth, he was someone who was always there for me on nights that I couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain.
There was a lot of FaceTime calls, a lot of long nights, just doing homework together, and really just being there to, talk to her about what's going on, and just try to, I guess, keep her mind off of what she's going through currently.
My roommates, especially Alex, was super helpful and just helping me do the common everyday things that you can't do with one arm.
Skyler and I have always had a good on-field connection, so just adjusting to not having her and knowing where she was going to play and where she was going to run. We're obviously really good friends. We haven't known each other for a super long time, but we bonded pretty quickly. And I think that we balance each other out. Being able to help her put up her hair or cut food or put her plastic bags around her cast so she could shower. Those are just the things that you do for your friends.
Ashley Britton is someone who I know through campus outreach, and I found out that she had broken her wrist the semester prior that I had broken mine. So I went to her and talked to her. She also gave me insight of how God could use this as a part of my story and just to continue to trust him through everything that was happening.
When Skyler texted me that she had broke her wrist, that would be the fall after I did it, I instantly was like, whoa, because Skyler has always been a little sister to me, and to see her going through something so similar, something that I had just went through, I thought to myself, I can really help her in this. And if she wants to lean on me, I am here. Seeing her season end in that way, I was like, wow, this isn't happening on accident. She had the same exact injury as me a few months apart. Even though it's going to be very difficult for her, she's able to look to me as wow, right now I might not be able to move my wrist at all, but there's Ashley who's 6 months ahead of me, and she's able to move it up and down, left and right. So a little sign of hope for her during those times.
Well, I grew up in a Christian home. My parents, we were always at church as a family, and my parents were super involved with the church. So my relationship with Christ is honestly everything to me.
We always try to watch church together, watch a sermon, and then talk about what we liked afterwards. Just doing our daily Bible verses.
Our identity is in Christ, and then we use athletics just for his glory, and then athletics are taken away. Well, we still are a full person because our identity is in Christ.
One thing that I do for games is I tape on my wrist and I write in Sharpie AO1, which means audience of one. And it's a visual reminder for me specifically that I'm not playing for my coaches, I'm not playing for any fans, but I'm playing for an audience of one. And my audience of one is God. After surgery, the simple exercises I did was just playing with putty and moving my fingers to touch one another. Then once I got a removable cast, I was able to do simple stretches and exercises where I would play with a rice bucket. I would use bands to pull them apart. to work on my mobility and just slowly gaining back strength. It was definitely a long process, and it felt like it was slow and it felt like it was taking forever, but through the weeks I was able to see progress and see growth, so that was very encouraging.
The thing that changed in Skyler was like her mindset and being able to see the game from a different perspective. She always used to get really frustrated with herself, and I think like she just demands so much from herself as a player, but like having to take a step back and really learn to be patient with herself and like give herself some grace.
She's done a lot better with like her self-control as what gives her anxiety, and just ignore the little things and kind of look at the bigger picture a lot better too. So.
And I think I've just seen Skylar really mature in her faith and really become so grateful for the opportunities she does get.
I think one of the biggest areas that I grew, aside from my faith, is just how to be a better teammate. I didn't want to be that injured person that just sat on the bench and was just sad that they couldn't play. I wanted to be the best teammate that I could. So I would fill up water bottles, I would shag balls, and I would just try and be as encouraging and positive to my teammates that were playing as I could. Ultimately, like, I would just encourage them to try and see the bright side of things and to continue to trust God no matter what you're going through.